Best one in the country.
Ah, very nice. Hello, Mr. Zeiss.
This is the Zeiss LRP S5, and we've been sent one of these to have a little look at and play with. This is a 5 to 25 by 56 scope, designed with PRS in mind. Now, it's obviously from Zeiss and make extremely good glass, so I'm expecting good things from that side of things. These are made in Germany. There is the beast. It is chunky. So 34mm tube, first focal plane, all the stuff you would expect in this type of setup. Illumination, locking turrets on there. Also, no, locking turrets on the windage, that's where I read it. Right, so I've come unstuck on this windage turret. It's actually, if you push on the outside, it won't do anything because that's separate to this. So it's just like a sleeve that goes over and that locks and then that pulls back out. Subtle, but enough that you can lock it in. This one's not locking, but it does have what they call a ballistic stop. Most people call it a zero stop, but that's what it does, comes down to zero and won't go lower than that. So nice big chunky dials, that is excellent. One of the big things that this has over a bunch of its competitors is how much elevation travel it has. This in MRAD, it has 40 mil of adjustment, 40 internal adjustment. That is huge. If you're in the MOA version, you're at 140 minutes of angle. 40, it's over 40, it's 40.7. So a mammoth amount of adjustment in this scope. That is seriously huge. One other thing about this scope that I did notice was the auto off on the illumination. So it will actually turn off and save you batteries, which is excellent. Now this is a scope designed for PRS shooters with some input from PRS shooters. So we thought, rather than me just staring at a wall with it, we would take it out to the next PRS match and get some shooter's opinion on it. So I'm gonna mount it up to a gun and let's go do that. Tell me your thoughts on the new Zeiss LRP.
Irely's pretty generous on it. They've got a weird feel on the turrets. They're very close together. Like the clicks seem closer because it's 12 mil going around. Normally used to them being a bit more spread out. They seem very tightly compact, like in click ratio. Clicks are good. The clicks are nice. I've got no problem with that. Reticle's fine. Curious dots at the 0.5 mil between 1 and 2. Optically, well, you can't really floor it really. It's a Zeiss. Like there's no real ghosting on it. There's no side to side. Colors are good. I can see branches. There's a Galv pole I can see clear as day. It's separating colors really, really nicely. You'd have to shoot with it for a while. I reckon maybe a full month to see what it's like getting in quickly, getting behind it, and then pulling your head off to see how quickly you can keep your eye on focus. It's bright. I notice it's very, very bright. But it is a bright day, but yeah, it's nice, clean. I like it.
Oh,
and tell me your thoughts.
We'll go over to this 385 target that I've been looking at all day. I like the reticle. It's really close to a SKMR3 that I'm normally running on a Carles. I've been comparing a few scopes today and just looking at the field of view, and it's pretty much comparable to everything we've been looking through. So really nice turrets. I don't know about how far they stick out. They look a bit unco, but
they are tall, aren't they?
They are tall. Even on the side, you got plenty to knock into a barricade. But
Ah, very nice. Hello, Mr. Zeiss.
Oh wow, that is really nice. How crisp is that? Like full zoom, you've got fairly close in, but I would probably run at about 12. There you go. And you got a really good field of view, really easy to find the target, but super clear. Like that glass is really nice. For old man's eyes, I can actually see the numbers and the clicks are really discernible. So yeah, that's really nice.
Can't say I've ever played with a Zeiss before. I do like the reticle on it.
Yep.
Everything's symmetrical and sort of your eye doesn't get thrown to certain parts.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like everything's easy to make out on it. On max power, still crisp, clear. There's no milkiness. Field of view's massive on it. So at 385, you can still see all the tree like indicators and all that sort of stuff on there on whatever power that is, 10, 12.
10, 12, yeah. Okay.
Which is what I'd normally shoot most of mine anyway for that reason. So these actually pull out, do they? Where it says lock here, it actually pulls out. And oh, there you go.
Oh, you did.
It's a sleeve.
Okay. Oh,
So that's
locking
pretty
windage
cool.
is
That's
pretty
nice, especially having it open like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Like the numbers out on the outside. Very readable. Very readable. They lift turret? No, just. I reckon they're nice going up in elevation. Me coming down, they sort of skip a bit. There's a real precise click going up. I think left and right's really nice. That's a very nice readable turret, that's for sure. Very nice.
Right, I suppose I should look through it, hey? I'm looking at something that's about 2 k's away at the moment. I could nearly make out individual leaves, but not quite. I really like the parallax on this. So some scopes you get the, I don't know if parallax band is the right word for it, but you can sort of get your parallax sorted and get out of it very quickly. This thing, it feels like it's very wide, so it seems quite forgiving. I think it's right up there glass-wise with all of the other scopes in its price point. Turrets-wise, we've discussed this. I wouldn't mind seeing them a little bit more definite or defined. You could run past if you're in a hurry. The really good scopes, the clicks are definite and they're very, you can't mistake it. This one, if you're just doing a quick count in your head, you could run past a couple. I don't mind the second revolution indicators on there as well, so you know where you are if you're on your second rev. I don't particularly like the reticle, but for me, there's a lot of space where you'd be guessing potentially wind holds. There's only 0.5 mil subtensions. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more, but I guess the bonus of that is you can see it's less clutter, so you can see your impacts a bit easier. Ooh, hey, that's way better.
We fix?
Oh, the diopter adjustment.
Oh yeah, it was set to Janzo mode before.
Oh right, so old person mode. No, I didn't say that.
I did. Set to his face as well.
Oh, that's nicer. That reticle seems much clearer now. Oh, interestingly, so there's only 3 mils for a hold under on the vertical stadia above the crosshair. I hadn't noticed that before. I mean, not that you really would hold more than 3 mils under very often, but it does give you the added benefit of being able to go sort of point your crosshairs down a little bit and have nice clear glass above to watch for your impacts. And the only thing I can't find, oh yes, right out on the edges, so it does have 0.1 mil hashtags, but you've got to go right out to the extremities of the horizontal. I don't mind it.
Cool, thank you, sir.
First impression is those turrets are very girthy. Is this like angled at being their match scope?
This is their PRS focused.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense because you've got like big bold numbers, easy to read quickly. It clicks really nice, it's really tactile. That's really good glass. Compared to my scope I'm currently running, the reticle is a little bit bolder, like thicker, which I like because I'm having trouble at the moment where when I run a low magnification, the reticle disappears. So I run more mag to be able to read my reticle better, but then I'm obviously field of view's down and I'm struggling to find targets.
Yep.
So I think that's a good match as far as having a nice small aiming point, but having enough boldness in the reticle that you can find it on low mag. So I went down to 12 power then, which is lower than I'd normally ever run on my scope. And that's sort of what my scope feels like on 15. That's a pretty smart reticle.
There's some 0.1s out the far side of them.
Yep. It's a smart reticle. I like how there's dots for your 0.5s because it's a very quick reference for where your 0.5 is.
Yep.
I think that's smart. The Zero Comp do like where they have their 0.5 marks. They got that one they do with this extra circle there.
Yep.
And this is sort of like a similar concept, a quick reference point to be able to find where your half mil wind is. No, I think that's a smart design. I'd consider one of those.
Nice. One more thing to tell you guys about that we sort of discovered while shooting, got a heads up as well. Didn't realise this before. The turret, the clicks, I know a few of the guys mentioned the clicks that they're close together. They are until you get to the 1 and then it gives you a definite clunk feel. Go all the way through all the normal clicks, go to 2, solid clunk. Check it out, it's a really good feature.